This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neitz with the Raw Life Health Show, and I wanted to make a video today, and I want to talk about one of my favorite topics. And even though this is a channel about eating healthy, I want to make a video about not eating at all. Yes, fasting. You know, we've become gluttons in today's world, and we just eat way too much. We eat too much, too often, and too late. And we rely on the pleasure that food gives us. But when I first started doing this, I interviewed a fellow named Dr. Fred Bishy, who first told me about something called intermediate fasting, or basically, some people call it calorie restrictive diets, but that's a little bit different. But basically, it's wonderful and great to eat healthy food, and it just helps on so many levels, but nothing helps better than letting your body be doing what it was designed to do, and that is heal itself. I will submit that overeating and undersleeping are two of the major causes of all disease out there. And overeating leads to undersleeping, because the less you eat, the less sleep you need. The more you eat, the more sleep you actually need. So we should be eating less. And people say, I know what you say, but I love to eat. Well, if you eat less, you live longer, you get to eat more. But I've just always been experimenting with eating less, and one of my favorite books I've ever read was Rational Fasting by Arnold Ehret, and another great book was The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Braggs. And the more I don't eat, the better I feel. And I don't know how many of you have experienced this, and usually what happens when you don't eat and you fast, now there's two reasons not to eat. One is you're starving yourself, and the other is because you're fasting. And so now there are reasons why you might fast. There are a whole bunch of different reasons why you might fast. Some of them are good reasons, some of them are not good reasons. But basically, there's two reasons you don't eat, let's say, but there's many reasons to fast. Well, you know, I just think if people, definitely without a doubt, we should take one day a week and not eat. One whole day a week. And as I do things like, for Yom Kippur, there's it's called the Day of Atonement. It's a day where you're supposed to put a hardship on yourself, you know, and that's a biblical day. And one of the references to that day is everyone's supposed to fast on water, or not even on water, on nothing, no water, no food, nothing, just fast. And I mean, if you think people aren't addicted to food, there's a reason why they call this the Day of Affliction, because people act like the world is about to end. They start thinking about this fast a week before it happens. Oh, I'm gonna have to fast this. This is gonna, and then when the fast is over, they start congratulating each other. Listen, study the animals in nature. You know, when they eat, but when they're not eating, they can go without food. In nature, I'm not saying your house pets that are clawing at the door to get their food. You know, fasting is a wonderful thing. Not eating is such a big help to the body. When you can get to a place where you enjoy not eating as much as you enjoy eating, you've definitely arrived at a certain place. I mean, physically, it's wonderful for your body. If when you are eating, you're eating healthy. And if you're not eating healthy, then you probably need a fast so your body can slow down from all the processing I'm consistently doing. So physically, it's wonderful for your body. Emotionally, you know, you don't only go through a physical detox if you fast, especially for more than one day, but you go through an emotional detox often. And during the detox, it's real tough, but afterwards it's so refreshing. And it really does help. And then spiritually, I have to say there's very few ways that are more humbling than not eating. Now, it's one thing to eat if you don't have a choice, but it's another thing to have the choice to eat and choose not to. Very humbling experience. And so I want to encourage people to get more into fasting. At least fast one day a week. One day a week, no food. Start off with a fast. See, a one-day fast would be something like fasting. Let's say I say every Monday you're not going to eat. Every Monday you're going to fast. So if you wake up and you stop eating Tuesday night and you start eating Monday night, so technically you're still eating every day. You've just went 24 hours without food. And that's pretty simple, because on Sunday you can eat you know, 2 meals a day, and then you're just skipping dinner. And then you're skipping breakfast and lunch on Monday, and you're eating dinner. So it's still really easy. I mean, you're still eating every day. And if you choose to juice or do something instead during if you don't want to do water, it's still fasting. It's relatively easy. But when you start getting into a 36-hour fast, that means you're going through a whole day without any food. You're going to sleep, you're going the whole day without food, and then you're getting up the next day, no sleep. Then it starts getting into healing. It starts getting into emotional healing and just so many other levels. And I want to encourage people, if you're eating a raw food diet, or if you're just on any type of diet for health, or you're doing anything for health, start experimenting with fasting. And you know, there are all these detox programs out there that you know, some of them have herbs and some of them have, you know, all these other different things to them. But the real great way to fast or detox is free. You just fast. You just stop eating. And I say this often. When people are sick and diseased, you have to work very hard and eat very much and very bad food to get yourself sick. If you did nothing, you'd be healthy. Again, you have to work very hard to get sick. Eating nothing will keep you healthy. But we've gotten to ourselves to a sick state, so sometimes there's things we have to do. But really, the less we eat, the better off we're going to be, as long as when we do eat, we're eating healthy. It's a very important thing. Eating a mostly raw vegan diet and not eating, you know, intermediate fasting, from what I have seen and studied and so on, is the best way to go for your health. Now, of course, there are certain diseases out there that people have, that like diabetes and stuff, they got to eat or something, or a doctor tells somebody you have late night eating disorder. People think, I got to eat, I got this disorder. You got to get over the mental part of these things, and physically you could slowly but surely work your way to a better diet. We might not be able to do it overnight if you're in one of those situations. That doesn't mean you can't do it. All right? We simply eat way too much today. I wrote a book called The Daylight Diet that talks about this. The average person will eat 8 to 10 times a day between their snacking and their grazing and everything else. There's no little man in the stomach that says, here comes an apple, or here comes a snack or a steak or a meal, or this is dinner or this is supper. No, when you eat, the body has to work. And we never give our body a chance to relax. And we need to do that more often. We need to give our body a chance to relax. And I see too many people, even if they're vegetarian or raw foodists, they're just eating too much. Now it's not going to be as harmful to the body if the food isn't as processed, but still, we need to slow down. Eating is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful pleasure, but when you abuse it, just like anything, too much of anything that's good becomes bad. So we need to, you know, we need to show temperance in our eating. I guess that's the message for today. Temperance in your eating. Eat less, live longer. All right? If you have any experience with fasting, whether it's 1 day, 3 days, or weeks, or whatever, put your experiences below the video. Let people know. And whether they're positive or negative, or what you felt, how you fasted, or if you've never fasted, you've been thinking about fasting. And then the last thing I'll say is I interviewed a fellow that I knew who had a fasting retreat right near my house, Dr. William Esser. He was playing tennis. I remember he was 91 years old. I think he was playing tennis. In very good shape. He's passed on. This is many years ago. But I once asked him, I said, how often do you fast? Remember, this guy's a fasting retreat. He says, never. I go, what do you mean never? He goes, well, I don't overeat, so I don't need to fast. So if you don't like to fast, show temperance with your diet, then you won't need to fast. Technically, we're all fasting every night. That's why we eat in the morning. They call it break fast. You're breaking your nightly fast. You know, and this man wasn't eating all day, but if you're eating 1 meal a day or maybe 2 meals a day, you know, a fast isn't as important as if you're eating like the average 8 to 10 times a day. You got to give your body a chance to rest, okay? All right, let me know those opinions and questions below the video. Thank you for watching this. Please share this with others. Check out my other videos on YouTube, and please hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to get more videos and updates like this. I have over 1,500 videos on my page here, and I want to encourage you to be healthy, so that's why I do this. So thank you for checking it out. Have a great day and a great Raw Life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.